Over the past month, I have traveled a couple times down to Indianapolis. It's only a few hours away, but it's not something that, sorry, I'm shifting. My dog just got up. She was right there at my feet. Anyway, it's not something I get to do often. Some of these trips were for work. They were academic competitions my students were in. Some of them weren't. Some of them were personal. Anyway, I have a few tips. I want to share my experience. So, hi, this is James from marvelcomics. Please do like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell up in the corner so that way you get notifications anytime we post new content. Down below, if you hit notifications, you will get notifications also for that. And if you have any comments, I would appreciate any dialogue. So I'm going to be sharing both the comics I picked up when I traveled down to Indianapolis, but also some tips. And I'm going to break it up into two parts. This is going to be video one. We're going to be focusing on tips, things I've learned when I'm traveling and I'm looking for comic books in new locations. I've done this several times when I've traveled out east. I have family up in Pennsylvania, down in North Carolina, South Carolina, and every single time it works. Okay, so tip number one is Google Maps. It doesn't matter if it's on your phone or if you're using a desktop. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sorry, my dogs are moving around figuring out who's going to lay in the chair and who's laying on the floor. Anyway, while I prefer the desktop when I'm traveling, that's not always an advantage. And so using a phone or a tablet seems to be the way to go. And here's the key. Okay, and you can do this ahead of time. I oftentimes will do it ahead of time on my desktop in my den, and then flag the different places I want to go to, and then it syncs with my phone. Or if I'm just happen to be wherever I'm at, you know, if it was not something I had that time to plan or think about in advance. Okay, here are the key words that works. Okay, comic book stores near me. That's going to find anything around you. Now, if you're doing this for home, obviously it's going to be whatever's around you. And typically it's about a 50-mile circle. You know, it's 50-mile radius around from your house. It's a good thing to do if you're checking to see if there's any new comic book stores in your area. What you can do, though, is replace near me with comic book stores in and whatever location you're going to. I did this in Indianapolis. You can also try some different keyword searches like Northern Indianapolis, or if you know specific places you're going to be visiting, like let's see, Fishers is in northeastern Indianapolis, so comic book stores in Fishers. And you're going to get a list of stores. So that's number one. Use Google Maps. Once you find those places, check out the reviews, check out their pictures. Here's a caveat, though, and this is something I'm going to share more than once. Use your best judgment. Most of the time, reviews are going to come from two types of people, I think. This is my impression as someone in the 21st century. First, it's going to be the people that are angry with the shop for whatever reason. Okay, it's going to be very emotional and someone's going to spend time articulating that. Or it's going to be a longtime fan of the shop. Okay, so it kind of tends to fall down to those two. Check out the pictures, and once you have those, look them up on social media. See what the store's like. See what their inventory's like, on and on and on. So that's step one. Step two, and this is a transition. I mentioned social media. Social media is the way to go when you're looking for stores in new locations. And I recommend Facebook for this. I know I'm kind of dating myself. I have not found Instagram to be really friendly for locating comic book stores, but in Facebook, there are many different groups of people that enjoy comic books. And what you can do is you can just go to one of these groups and go, hey, I'm traveling to fill in the blank with whatever the city. What are some comic book stores you recommend? If it's a large enough group, you will get recommendations. Okay. Caveat, though, again, like I shared before with Google Maps reviews, it kind of seems to fall into two categories. People that are fans of the shop have that emotional experience, and so they might be blind to things that you might see. And the reverse is true also. Those people that have been to a location, didn't get the service they wanted, whatever, they're going to have a different opinion. Okay, so that's step one. That's step two, social media. Step three, or it's really not step three. You want to be prepared if you're traveling, and this is, I think, more true if you're driving than if you're flying, though you want to definitely kind of keep that in mind. Bring some things to carry your books in, okay? And I've kicked myself in the pants with this a few times. You can get one of these things. This is by VCW. I don't even know what this thing is called. I've had it for about 10 years. You can fit in a reasonable number of comic books in here, and if they're not bagged and boarded, they're going to be protected, okay? You can bring a couple bags and boards if you're really worried about it, you know, pre-bag and board. I also got this thing from my LCS, Buy Me Toys, in beautiful Mishawaka, Indiana. They do these blind boxes right around the holidays, and it's the perfect size for about half a dozen comic books, okay? So those things can help. And then in whatever you have, throw in a couple plastic bags. These are actually one for my LCS and actually one for my trip in Indy. Yeah, you'll probably get plastic bags. Your purchase is bag and board bagged, but you never know. And if you decide to go off the beaten path and not go to an LCS, you might end up with bags like at a flea market or something like that without a bag. So there are my 3 tips. If you have any questions, comments, if you have a similar experience, please do leave comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to read more comics.